Zero? Is there a problem?
No, no, I was just setting the audio so it doesn't
Oh,
mix.
okay.
Yeah, it was just muting it. Anyway, uh, welcome everyone to the podcast, Toku Portal podcast for Build episode 36. It's me, Zero, here with.
Did it decay?
And Rye. Well, Pandora's box has been opened. The end of the world is nigh. So with Build over, the show will now be a love story between Kazumi and Misora called Idol Geek Love and Date Me. What, nothing?
What the hell is this nonsense? Was this in the preview?
Yeah, this was in the preview.
The recap, yeah.
Okay. Like, yeah, these episodes are pretty like long with the commercials, so I'm like barely seeing them because like fucking 720 on my Wi-Fi is not stable for some reason.
Oh.
Um, yeah, I know. And the other thing is like I'm really not a fan of these intros because it's such a heavy episode, and then those dumbass intros. I know why they're there. It's just to like
Break the
you know
tension
like
a little bit.
break the tension. Yeah, especially
And,
because it's a kid show.
and they come at the very beginning, so there's also
I
that.
know.
I thought
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
Uh, and then like I caught the end of it, and I'm like, Bill's just yelling, "I'm still the main character." I'm like, "What's he? Why is he saying this?" I'm like, "It's whatever. It's not important." So I didn't go back and check. Um, there was one funny moment. It's like this is like later, and probably people who don't have commercials won't get it, but um, there's that scene where like it shows danger and like Banjo's sitting there like considering using this, and it cuts to like Mizora. She's not Mizora. Yeah, Mizora. She's on the bed, and like she's all like fucking stressed out, like woken up, and then it just cut, and you're like, "What's going on?" And then it just cuts to a commercial. I'm like, "Oh, I see why she was freaking." That played pretty funny. Yeah, we shouldn't waste too much time on this because most people won't see that.
Okay, so serious now. With the tower complete, Evolt creates a new tool from Pandora's box using a ball its energy. Evolt Trigger. The true power of the box. And when he goes to use it, nothing happens. Like, that is the biggest, like anticlimactic outcome. The storm just dies out. And then Bernage comes in, grabs Sento on the box, and bails. And she like, why couldn't you have done that like 10 minutes earlier?
Yeah, I was just really done with the scene, but considering what happens later, it's definitely makes up for it.
Yeah, it.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, like this whole like thing is the worst part of the episode, but it's even not even really that bad because this episode is really good.
Yeah, I mean, that just kind of highlights the one reoccurring problem with Build is like everything's dramatic for the one episode, and like the next episode, like who cares? Like it's almost as bad as Fies, or I don't know. It's kind of weird. Actually, no, it's slightly worse
Fies
because
didn't feel the need to try and reset to zero every episode.
yeah, that's the thing. Like Fies only did it with like, holy shit, there's a fight, and it's not going to conclude until like next episode, and where it's not going to be as nearly as dramatic as like the ending of the previous episode. But the difference with Fies is like they don't go, oh, here's a new form, it dominates. Next episode, who cares? Here's another new form, it dominates.
Gotta
It's
get
like,
those
oh
toy
my,
sales.
it's it's terrible. Like the one thing that really bugs me about Bill, like, okay, I can fucking like look past the humor, but like fucking space out the like they don't need to be super far. Like go 2 episodes before you drop a new form. You know, like not like back to back. It just kind of kills it. Like on one hand, it's like okay, Sento and these guys are really good at like improvising and thinking of solutions, but on the other, it's like who cares? You're a threat, but who gives a shit? There's like 10 in 10 episodes left. We're gonna get a couple new forms to kick your ass. Like that's it's the whole Namba Industries problem, except for forms where it's like, yeah, you might be important, but like Stark is right there, so like we know you don't matter. And like the forms kind of had the same thing. It's like, yeah, you're pretty badass this episode, but like the preview already said you're getting a new form, so who cares? You know, like the episode is solid. It's just like I wish they would space them out a little better. And then one last thing, it's like, yeah, okay. So like the last 2 weeks, we actually had goddamn comments on the stream, and like I completely ignored them by accident. Like back to back. Like right now, I think we have like one person watching, but nobody's commenting. But yeah, sorry to those people who commented last episode, like, and maybe the one before. Like I totally ignored you. My bad.
Bernage and the Rider. Okay, this is going to be like a lot of exposition. So Bernage and the Riders are at the lab now. Bernage explains that Evold is an alien from a planet unknown to Earth, so he's not even from Mars himself, which makes sense in considering the fact that he blew it up. When he opened the box on Mars and the tower formed, a strange dimension above the tower like sucked everything into it like a black hole. Bernage fought Evolt, and she was able to separate his soul from his body. That explains Banjo. She explains that the box can only be opened using the bottles containing elements of that planet, which is why all of the bottles on Earth are like television and Cobra. When they got to Earth, Evo basically just made up a bunch of bottles using Soichi's memories, and then Bernage absorbed them all so that the box would fail to open, which is why Skywall happened. And then he had to spend 10 years redoing all that. Now that the power from the box has been drained, Bernage restores the power she took so that Sento can use it to stop Evolt. Decade, you talk now.
Well, good on Bernage, because without that, we wouldn't have a show. Earth would just be totally screwed. But yeah, that was pretty interesting how Evolt was an alien on Mars too. And that whole black hole thing could be a decent setup for like a V Cinema or the movie, because who knows, maybe there's something on the other side of that black hole. Or not, we'll see. But that's all I had to say.
Yeah, I mean it's just a whole lot of exposition. I mean, like it's kind of nice that we're getting answers. It's just like, okay, that happened. You know, it's like it's not relevant, but okay, it's there. As for Bernage, I'm like, oh, okay, so you're like, what, like Queen Serenity at this point? Like, you're completing your fucking magical girl backstory at this at this point? Like, it's so obvious. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's on their mind because it's like the 15th anniversary Pretty Cure. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's just a coincidence. As for that black hole thing, I'm like, oh, I guess we're either like, I mean, like maybe you could say this is a writer plot, but like I'm like this is so like a fucking Ultraman plot at this point, like, or
Really?
maybe a Sentai plot, like because like writer plots tend to be like, oh, we'll blow up the city or the planet or crash the moon. I mean, if it gets that insane, but it never really does. Or like a meteor or something at the worst. But this is like, yeah, we just created a black hole to like kill all life on the planet. I'm like, this is too too insane. Like this is too much of a like Sentai or Ultraman style plot. Like it
I
feels
wouldn't
weird
even
and
call
like
it a Sentai plot.
I
Sentai
know,
plots
but
are
like
like, we'll flood the earth.
yeah, that's true. But like I mean, I could see like if uh Q Ranger had like
Uh,
this, I'd be like, yeah, I could see it. No, I know it
y-
wasn't
g-
in there, but like
yeah,
if they're
Kyuranger
like
didn't even have this. You know what they had?
what?
Actually blowing up planets by sucking out all of their energy.
And the final plot was like 20 times worse than a black hole.
Yeah, the main villain was using all that energy to make a bomb to just blow up the galaxy.
And then
Yeah, the
that failed,
space.
so he decided he was going to become the galaxy and absorb everyone.
That's so okay. That's like you took Space Adventure Cobra's plot and went like, yeah, this is a little too crazy, so we'll just say nah. He just wants to blow up the galaxy. And it's like, oh, what? No, it wasn't crazy enough. No, we have to double down on the crazy, so we're 4 times as crazy now. I'm just gonna become the galaxy. It's like, okay, like Space Adventure Cobra's thing is like, I'm going to fucking murder everyone by getting this energy of this planet, which kind of pretty much would like ultimate energy source in the galaxy sort of thing, because I have the ability to control all undead, right? So that's like crazier than black hole, so like twice as crazy plot wise. But then like Q Ranger is like, nah, I'm just going to become the guy. It's like, what the fuck? Are you Thanos now? Like
He,
like like Thanos from the comic?
d- n-
Yeah.
mm, it's a hard way to describe it because he literally absorbs everyone in the universe, galaxy, whatever.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't
Okay, I
just
mean,
kill them; like he absorbs them all, and they still
yeah.
exist in him.
What the? Okay,
So
so
like,
he's basically.
when the Key Rangers do finally defeat him, everyone just gets freed.
That's so dumb. Okay, like I. Okay, this is like a fucking supernatural plot. This is literally. I, is this the plot of season 5 of Supernatural at this point? I don't know because they fucking brought back the goddamn angels in the end of season 13 or something stupid like that. So it's possible. Um. Anyway, Drago's like, yeah, and Q Ranger's endgame is weird. That's what he said. I agree. This sounds weird. As for Supernatural season 5, it's like, okay, like Lucifer's gonna wake up, and so the angels have like their basic job is we have to defeat him and defend the earth. But the angels are like, you know what? Fuck that. This is stupid and it's taking too long, and God favors humans too much. So we're just gonna fight this damn war, and we're gonna win, and we're just gonna kill all the humans, and therefore we get to rule. Basically, it's weird. Basically, like, imagine like end of Evangelion if that was the plan of the angels from Supernatural. So like they just want to kill all the humans because that way, like, in the spirit world, the angels basically get to control everything. And like the demons would die because they would lose the war, pretty much. Yeah, it was dumb. And then they pretty much kind of went away and became stupid for a long time. Like I stopped watching Supernatural like seasons ago. But apparently in season 13, like fucking Lucifer and Michael are back, so this stupidity is gonna come back somehow. Because I guess jumping to another parallel Earth wasn't bad enough. God, what is even
Nope.
happening with that fucking show? Like, they should have just turned it into the X-Men or like Hunter training schools.
What happened to Supernatural is that it went on too long because it blew up too much. It couldn't maintain its own momentum.
I mean, they're gonna keep making it until somebody drops dead in that show.
Probably Sam.
And at this point, I'm not even sure if that's gonna stop them. They'll probably figure out some bullshit reason to be like, "Oh no, this is alternate universe, Sam.
Who's way
because
worse than the original.
yeah, because they're never gonna kill Dean. Like we can shit on Sam all we want because Dean can never be wrong. Fuck, man, Dean being right all the time pissed me off so much. Supernatural, and we are super off track now.
Yeah, but it's fine. It seemed like a good discussion, so I kept it going.
Yeah. I'm like, there's not that much in this episode besides like one fight and exposition. So like,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Let's get back to Ryder, I
Uh,
guess.
Okay. So Gentoku feels his job is done and goes to leave. Kazumi follows him and they go for a little walk. At Sky Road, Kazumi is still mad about Gentoku killing Akaba. So they get into a fight. When Kazumi wins, which is amazing because he kicks Gentoku's ass, he asks Gentoku to join them. He's still mad about killing Akaba and he can't forgive him for it, but he knows that the Three Crows would want him to put his anger aside in a time like this. They need all the allies they can get. This is the best character development Kazumi has gotten on this show, and he's gotten some pretty good stuff. He's pretty much been on this one-track plotline of all my friends are dead, but it just keeps working out in terms of execution. He's one of the most well-written characters on this show.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have to take back what I said last episode about that not being satisfying, because this was pretty damn
Yeah,
satisfying.
You just had to be a little patient.
Yep. But there was that one super short, inconsequential scene with Namba scolding Evolt, basically. But
Yeah,
I did think it was kind of disturbing how he like pounded his chest like Ryuga. That was kind of sad.
yeah. For scenes like that where it would take longer to describe what happened than it took to play out, I usually gloss over them. But if you guys wanted to bring them up yourselves, go ahead.
Okay. Drago basically said season 1 to 5 Supernatural is great. After that, the show doesn't exist. To be fair, that was the original run from the original writer, so I agree. Yeah. As for this fight, like, man, Kazumi is like the coolest fucking dude ever. It's so awesome to have this character. I mean, like, it's fine that he won because, like, Gentoku's not, like, top of his game right now. And then, like, Kazumi also leveled up. It's just the same problem. Like, it's happening too fast. Like, maybe if this was, like, another episode. You know? I know we don't have time for another episode because we've only got, like, a couple episodes left, so we're just, like, jamming all the plots now.
Right?
But I'm like, at this point, like, fuck Namba
Like,
Industries.
Sento doesn't even have his final form yet.
That's true. Oh my god. Actually, I think there's. Is there like two? Because like, there's genius form, and then there's like something else, or is there? I don't know.
We'll
Let's
find
just hope-
out, like, probably next episode.
God, let's just hope there's only one. No, because next episode Banjo's fucking doing his
Right.
wizard thing.
2 episodes.
Yes, 2 episodes. Oh god. Woof. What
2
a
weeks,
beast.
everybody.
What? 2 weeks.
Final form in 2 weeks. We're calling it.
Oh my god. Okay, so Drago's like the Scratch users are basically Saiyans. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty true. To be fair, like fucking Kazumi's like keeping up with Banjo at this point. Like, he's just a regular human. So I'm like, it could be Kazumi or it could just be the actor who played Otoya. I mean, he fucking like used Kibat the third 3 times, and like you're supposed to die if you use it once as a human. So why not, right? At this point. I don't know, man. Like, it's not bad. It's just like, this is one of those problems that writer has. It's like I sometimes wish these shows were longer, and then I'm like, yeah, no, because then they'll just throw in more shit for Bandai to shill, and I'm like, I don't want that. But like plot wise, this should be like twice as long, or maybe not twice as long, but like at least 20 to 30% longer
Like
plot wise.
give it like another 15 episodes.
I don't need that much. Maybe like if we put like 5 episodes in more, that way we can like at least space them out to be like four. Okay, it dominates for 2 episodes, then we get a new one. It might be enough. But the way it's going, like, yeah, I get it. We don't have time, so we have to get it done. But I just wish we could just do it. Like this is the opposite problem of Heroes bullshit from X8, where it's like, why is this in the show? It does nothing. Whereas here, it's like, why are you doing everything all at once? Like slow down. Um, I don't know. I mean, like, I think the real problem is because the first arc is such like pointless shit for the most part that like, yeah, because it took like 10 episodes, it stretched all out, like it squeezed all the important parts, so they don't have enough time, which kind of really sad. But I mean, like the episode's still good. It's just I wish they had time to do the things properly.
So, through his dad's files, Sento discovers that he can turn one of the panels from the box into a tool that he can draw power from. That power is beyond human limits. He uses it, he'll likely die. Misora overhears this and pleads to him to value himself more, to think of those he'll be leaving behind. Sento tells her that he'll definitely be back, and he heads off as she cries. This is like your wizard moment, Zero, because wow, this like just how much Misora truly cares for Sento really comes out here.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's a classic writer style moment, but I'm like, Wizard was basically a throwback to classic writer, so it makes sense. I mean, that's one of the other things. It's like if this was Blade, we would have given it time, where it's like, yeah, I'm going batshit insane using this, but I'm gonna do it anyway, kind of thing.
Yeah, Blade let everything like stew for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like Ryuki for damn sure, but
Sometimes a bit too long.
yeah, maybe. Okay, to be fair, like Ryuki also had the like, oh, we have four new writers in like the last like couple episodes or something.
Well, like that was the problem, is that like you can divide Ryuki into 3 arcs. Like, alright, each one introduces like a ton of writers and then kills half off.
Yeah, that's a good point. But like the last ones were like super rushed. Um, as for Build though, what did you think? I mean, like the acting was really good. I mean, it's always good, but yeah, I wish they would give the time to breathe, but like I'm just repeating myself now. Your thoughts on this decade?
Well, that scene was really intense. Props to the actress. We definitely didn't see this kind of, I guess, turmoil. Well, as done as well. I mean, we saw a little bit with Taiga and Nico.
Oh.
Salmon Ghost, kind of on and off, but this was just so damn good. I liked it a lot. And it was overdue for sure.
So I actually accidentally skipped over a note that I was actually excited to read. Before, like, in Toku and Kazumi leave, when Bernage like disappears after giving her explanation and Mizora passes out, Sento moves to catch her, and Kazumi unhesitantly pushes him the fuck out of the way so he can catch her. Like, he was ready for that.
Oh man, like let him have his moment. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, like I guess I didn't see that because like my video wasn't loading, but that sounds awesome. At least he had his moment.
Oh,
You know what was also great? Like when Gintoku goes up and he closes the fridge door, and then he thinks about going back, and then you hear like his driver henshin noise, and then like the top just swings open, and it's just Kazumi, and you hear the yell. Like Gintoku's like totally freaked out.
it's like,
I was
oh
like,
god.
Yeah, I know, like jump scare. I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? That's really funny. So like one use of like terrible, like I'm not the biggest fan of his like henshin jingle, but that was really good use of it.
Decade? Anything?
Nothing. That was hilarious. I just rewatched it. Dun 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 dun.
Alright. Evil launches an attack on Toto while Namba declares victory for Sato, and yada yada yada. He's gonna try and declare war on the. Fuck him. Like, seriously. Sento shows up, and he and Evold have an amazing fight. Oh, I thought the last one was really good, but this one is just. They are going for it. Like, spend all the leftover CGI budget. Just go for it. Anything on, like, the actual fight itself before we get into what happens?
I'm just glad that they're using the CGI more on like the weapon effects and less on like the punches and kicks. You can actually see the suits making contact now, because they were kind of overdoing it for a while. But yeah, this fight was really damn good, and I like the new background track that they had too, while Namba was going crazy.
Is there a problem with the stream, or?
No, Dragon's just pointing out like I made a typo with the overlay.
Oh god, I didn't even notice
I-
that! We've been
I
using that
know,
for like
right?
a month now!
I've been sitting here laughing my ass off. I'm like, how did I miss this?
Oh!
So welcome back. No wonder they're so terrible. We can't even spell. Oh my god.
Kamen Rider Build.
Hey,
Kamen Rider,
it's the best show.
That's...
Look, it's not build, it's still under construction.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
It's too stupid. Okay, I'm gonna
Really?
take.
We couldn't
You know
afford
what?
the eye, everyone. It's just out of our budget.
Look, there's no
we-
I in T.
We blew all the CGI budget, okay?
Exactly. Oh my. So dumb. Oh wow. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna change it. It just adds to our history
Oh, okay.
of,
Okay.
of the logos from like.
If this bothers any of you, you have to deal with it for the rest of the series.
No. I'm changing it next episode, but I'm not changing it for this.
Oh, well, yeah, no,
Oh
it's
my
too
God.
late.
So it's so
Oh.
dumb. You know what? It just adds to our history of like terrible covers. We have like this one, the fucking like bus stop one, basically the one we were using before. Then we had like cool one with like Gentoku.
I really liked
we
it when
have-
you were, like, doing featured rider ones.
I wanted to do that too, but I'm like, it takes time, not like a lot of time. The problem is I do the overlays before I watch the episodes. So I'm like, Okay, yeah, I think this is what it's gonna be about if I look at the preview.
Uh,
But then the problem happens is like there's like five dudes, uh, and I can like okay, if this is another Gentoku episode, like where do I put? If it's another build or Ryuga episode, like do I just put them again? Do we reuse the overlays? I'm like, I guess we do.
that
And then the like colored bus stop signage ones that we were using before this, basically, kind of. It's
that
like, oh, I'll pick the colors. The problem is like, oh, this is like a Banjo versus Build thing, so I'll put both their colors, and it's like, okay, well, there was barely a fight in this, and I used it, and then the next episode is like, oh yeah, Banjo got taken over by Evald, and therefore all his colors were the ones I used for last week's cover.
oh,
Uh, I was like, ah, fucking hell. So this is the problem with using overlays.
that explains
God.
why you would send me ones featuring a character that was barely in the episode.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I was like I like the character ones too. It's just like, what do you do after you've done five of them? I'm like, I guess we could keep reusing them. So dumb.
Okay.
Listeners, if you have a better overlay than this train wreck that we've been using, send it to us or something. I don't know. Like, fuck, nobody even comments. I doubt they're gonna give a shit. Um, like Sentai has like 3 times the views now. It's fine. I'll fix it next week. But God, I can't believe none of us noticed. It's so
Oh,
stupid.
it's like I just like glance at the ones that you sent me. It's like, all right, save, and there it is. It's up there. I don't have to stare at it. Maybe I should stare
Yeah,
at it more than not at all.
I know. Right? I think the thing is like I might have done this twice, and like the first one was good, and then like something happened, so I had to redo this one, and I forgot to even check it. Fucking hell.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get back to this.
Did you have anything to say on the fight between Sento and Evolt before we get into the other stuff that happens?
Um, I guess there's a couple things, nothing major, but like I really like Evolt's like phase 2 form with like dragon, and the colors work so well, and the sword makes so much more goddamn sense in that form. It works so well. My only problem is like he goes level 1 and fucking Build kicks his ass with like rabbit. I'm like, okay, first of all, you use the speed form to beat a speed form which has more speed than yours. All right, that doesn't make any sense. Then he goes to tank, but Evolt goes to like phase 2, and then like he uses his speed to dodge it and punch. I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. But again, like I don't think your speed changes, so it doesn't make any sense. Like it was an okay fight. It's just I wish they don't like the power ups. Upon power ups are kind of getting ridiculous. I mean like yeah, it's just because they have to get it out because toy sales, but like I wish it wasn't this quick. Um, I was actually gonna be pissed if it's like, oh, nice bullshit power up. I'm gonna take you over anyway. But Bill's like, nah, I figured out your bullshit plan.
But
And I was like, okay, you know what? That actually turned me around on this episode. But then, like, Evolt wins anyway. So I was like, well, to be fair, like, he's an alien who destroyed a whole planet and can take over people pretty easily. So I'm like, I could see that happening. At least the wig was good. For
yeah,
once. For once, the wig is good. Like, is that Naga's wig? I don't know.
maybe. The,
The
the,
one good wig.
the only thing that bothers me about the wig is that his
Right.
eyebrows are still his normal color. It's
Okay,
a
like,
it's a nitpick, I know, but
no. The reason why is because that's a fucking style now because Game of Thrones.
oh,
Like Daenerys, like apparently dyeing eyebrows is a real pain in the ass. So like most people would rather not do it, but like people used to do it before because like oh it looks so weird, right? But like since Daenerys' like first appearance, she's had like blonde hair and like brown eyebrows because like that's her normal hair color. is like brown, brunettish, right? Auburn, whatever, right? So she didn't dye her eyebrows, and it's like, well, it's been like 7 fucking seasons. So like it by now, it's an actual fashion trend. Like nobody fucking dyes their eyebrows now when they dye their hair. Pretty much, like if you look, it's so many shows have that shit going on. It's ridiculous. I mean, especially because like it's a wig. You know, having to dye your damn eyebrows for a wig would be such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, but still.
I
Anyways,
know. Yeah.
Sento resorts to using the panel tool and achieves hazard level 6, much to Evolt's delight. Evolt has reobtained his missing parts from Banjo, so now he can just obtain an even stronger body. Ditching Banjo, he attempts to possess Sento next, much to Sento's delight. He now has Evolt trapped, and his hazard level keeps rising. He saw this coming and walked into it to save Banjo. Now his push his body to the limits and destroy Evolt with himself. Before we go into more about the result, let's talk about the actual plan here. Evolt knew that he would need a stronger body than Banjo, which is why he started the war to push someone who ended up being Sento into pushing himself beyond human limits. Do I have that right?
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing is that means like Kazumi has a limit. Like he'll hit level 5 and that'll be it. Um, yeah. Okay. Um, Drago also said like he liked the fight overall. I don't know, fight was great. Episode is good overall, I think. And then he said, Kamen Rider Build featuring Dante from the DMC series. Yeah, I mean, like maybe original Dante or maybe DMC3 Dante, but yeah, it's pretty great. Good job, Drago.
Decade, do you have any thoughts on the plan here?
I mean, it was refreshing to see Sento actually ahead of the game, but unfortunately, Evolve is an alien from an unknown origin, so
Right.
you lose.
After the explosion, Sento falls down, now with white hair. Banjo wakes up and checks if Sento's okay, but the plan failed. Evolt has successfully possessed him. With Sento's power, he enters into what might be his final form. Phase 3. Episode end. So, Rabbit form has been my favorite form in this series since it was introduced, but Evil Rabbit is really good, and I think it's my new favorite form. Holy shit.
Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts, but it is pretty sweet. Definitely looking forward to seeing it in action.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Like, probably the nicest form that Build has. Probably. I mean, he has pretty nice forms, but this one's really solid. I still kind of like the one with Banjo a little bit better. I think. I don't know. I like the helmet more with that suit. But like, it's not like the Build one is bad or anything. They're all pretty decent. I mean, like, it's much better than the first one. The first one's clearly much worse than these two.
Yeah, just Evil Cobra. Just his own, Bloodstark form. It's like, okay. Once he started getting into, okay, Dragon and Rabbit, and it's like, now you have something. Last week I made some predictions on how this episode was going to play out, and after watching it, I was shocked at how both right and wrong I was. Pandora's Box is going to create a new tool that'll destroy the world. I was right. Sento is going to use that tool. I was wrong, but he still used a tool that that Evolt wanted him to use to destroy the world, but I was wrong about how it was going to happen because I didn't expect Evolt to possess Sento. It did occur to me that that might be what he wanted, but it's like, no, that seems a bit too obvious. Guess not.
Yeah, you'd think after after Q Ranger we'd be used to this sort of thing. Oh man, Q Ranger.
Yeah, I mean, I already knew that there was like an evolved rabbit form, so I'm like, okay, well, at some point he's probably gonna get taken over or something. Actually, originally I thought they were just gonna do like the Ryuki thing, where it's like it's just a weirdo form, just need a device to reach it, and like I thought what was gonna happen is like I thought Evolved Dragon in Evolved Rabbit were gonna be like survive forms from Ryuki, where
Oh.
it's like they just do something and then like they've like leveled up to such a point to like combat Evolved, like they use the power of the box, and the box would have like changed them and given them like new forms, but that didn't happen. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, it's weird that like I guess it makes sense why Hazard Trigger is like a cursed item. It's because like it was built to be like it's basically the thing that ends the world. And its fucking prototype form, like the weak human version, just makes you go insane. You know, so yeah, I guess that's really a cursed item after all.
Final thoughts. This was a really good episode. Uh, we did get some exposition, but we also got some heart touching moments between characters. Really good fight. And some pretty good setup for the next episode. Bonjo finally gets to like actually be the hero and take the spotlight now that Sento is kind of out of the picture. Even if it's just for the one episode. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, this has been a really solid couple of arcs, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next because we still have quite a few episodes to go.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just one, oh, I just remember we forgot to talk about the thing. All right, I'll say this, then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Even if it's just one, I hope like Manju gets a really good episode next week. Because at this point, like his development is pretty much done. So like, yeah, just give him one last good one to send him off. Like the last, like this one included, the last four have been really good. Hopefully the next one's solid. So it's like a good conclusion to all the writers and all this stuff. It's gotten really solid. Which is surprising because like at the middle of like the Namba arc, like we were like, what the hell is this show doing? But like as soon as like, and we were like, oh, hopefully like when Evolt takes over, like he's not total shit. But like since he's taken over, like the show's gotten actually pretty solid in I mean like consistency. It's gonna be interesting when he drops dead, but like I don't know. I mean he might just be like the final villain, so you know, it should be fine for a while. And then like the one thing I remembered we didn't talk about is like, yeah, Namba Industries declared war on the world.
Yeah, notice how I glanced over that.
I know, right? Like they're doing such insane shit like, oh, Japan is now mine. You know? Japan now wants to fucking take over the world.
I should feel like this is more serious than I do. Like I should feel like something was accomplished here. Like
yeah,
I should feel like the bad guys are winning.
Right. Like you would like here's the thing. Like fucking Kronos taking over Genom Corp was more threatening than Namba just going, yeah, Japan's not gonna fight the world. You know, like that's the level of like, oh yeah, we're totally the B story, even though we're doing something so it's like you know when Gaim is like, oh no, the whole world's at risk. I'm like, yeah, maybe eventually, who knows? I mean, like every fucking writer says that, like especially post decade or no decade included writer shows, like decade double. I mean, maybe not double. Definitely O's, Forza. I'm not sure. Wizard. Wizard was like a city.
And I
Gaim
still
was the
felt like
world.
that city was going to die.
Yeah, I know. But then again, they did it at the end. Um, but like here, it's like, oh yes, I've accomplished everything I've ever wanted, pretty much, and like it means nothing. Like they are so fucking nothing now. Like it's kind of sad because like they have two aspects. They have the we accomplish our goals, and two is like how we do our achieve our goals. Like aspect two, they've done perfectly. Like we've brainwashed kids, we've fucking like inserted spies everywhere. You know, we've done this proxy war. You know, we turned state against state, like manipulated everything, like mass produced weapons for our own good, like perfectly. Like way better job than most organizations do. But part one, where like the victories have meaning, like it, like every victory doesn't mean anything at this point. Like maybe originally they had a little bit of importance, but now it's like, yeah, you're winning, but like who cares? You're not interesting. You know, that's the sad part. Like Build keeps going like, oh, we're gonna put an end to this stupid war. I'm like, okay, yeah, but like you're really just fighting Evolved. Like if you wanted to put an end to this stupid war, like you could just, you know, take out Namba. Like one of you could just take out all of Namba. Like fucking Greece could like basically have his own like, you know, show at this point and just take them all out.
Hell, this episode, Grease was taking on a bunch of, like, Hard or Hazard or whatever Smash by himself.
Yeah, I know, and he like rider kicks and blows both of them up in one shot. I'm like, cool, but I'm like, they're nothing. Like, why are we keeping them around? And maybe it's just because we haven't had time to deal with them because we're dealing with this Evolve thing. But I'm like, for God's sakes, they better not be the final villains because
Like,
they're not worth it.
that's my biggest problem with it. It's that, like, okay, they're not getting attention because Evolt is the main villain here and he's sucking up all the attention. Why is Evolt still humoring Namba? I got it before, like, okay, he's just taking advantage of his resources. He doesn't need those resources anymore. He can just do whatever the hell he wants now. He's gonna blow up the Earth anyways.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
like
he
the
just
worst.
trying to cause, like, trouble? Cause, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the worst part is why the fuck does Namba trust him? Like, he didn't trust him to begin with, and like, the more shady shit he does, the more Namba trusts him. It seems it's so dumb. Like, what the hell is going on? Any thoughts on this decade?
I would definitely agree with why the hell is he humoring Namba, but maybe he has a reason. Maybe he doesn't want to just blow up the planet this time. Maybe he wants to do something with it. Maybe bring some more of his alien brothers over. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, like, the only thing I can think of is like, oh god, this would be kind of dumb, but like, potentially it could be a plot twist where it's like, okay, technically Evil turns out not to be like evil. Like, I'm not here to blow up the planet. I'm just here to be like the test. It's like, yes, I brought this tech. Do whatever the fuck you want with it, and most planets just blow themselves up.
That's the plot of Gaim.
I know, it's so stupid. I mean, like, at least in Gaim, it kind of makes more sense. Whereas, like Helheim is a thing; it just exists, and like
It's
Yggdrasil
just an
just kind of
asshole.
fuck. Yeah, like Yggdrasil just messed with it, and like the rider system is just Yggdrasil kind of doing their own thing. But in this, it's like, okay, yeah, you could throw this plot point in, but it's just another retcon to Evolve, which just keeps happening. Like, I mean, like it's not terrible, but it's like, are we really keeping these assholes around for that plot point? Like, that is not worth it. You know, we have the like, oh, science can corrupt shit or whatever the hell Evolve wants to say with like all the stuff he goes off again with Build, but I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it doesn't matter because we already have that plot point. We all already have like, oh, ambition. It's not great because like Kentoku, his ambition like cost him everything. Like he's exiled. His dad's dead. He didn't accomplish anything. So like, we don't need them, but like they're still around. Like, what is their purpose? Hell, the worst part is like, why are their writers still around? Right? Like, as soon as their writers die, they will have zero purpose because like their damn robots don't have the power to stop anything at this point.
It's going to be Foundation X again. Like after the actual plot is resolved, they're gonna be try to do what Foundation X is. They're gonna try to take over as the main villains, and they're gonna have nothing, and then it's gonna be pathetic.
Like I get it. I get they're trying to do like a Foundation X and like classic show a throwback, but like we don't that shit. Um, and to be fair, like Foundation X actually works a little better because they're like, yeah, this is just one of the weirdo projects we found, so we just spent like a couple guys to come deal with the shit after this project fell apart, in double. Whereas Namba is like, they have everything and I don't care. You know? Like they're so nothing. Like you know what the saddest part is? In
What?
Ryuki when their office gets taken over by Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, Namba Industries controlling all of Japan and declaring world versus Guy taking over one
I
electronic publishing newspaper, which was a bigger thing.
Yeah, I actually felt like when Guy took over that journal office, it's like, wow, something's actually happening right now. Shit, this is bad for the heroes. Meanwhile, secondary villain declaring war on the world, like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, there's no threat. Like, here's the thing: you could make them relevant by being like, all right, build and like Ryuga and Sento, you deal with Evolve, and like Grease and Gentoku will like go take out Namba. Like at least they would have relevance, but they're not. So it's like, what is the point? Like we have so many writers, and this episode was really well done, but like fucking Namba Industries, like this is worse than Gremlin because Gremlin was one asshole. He was one guy, right? Like, okay, you're annoying. You're sticking around because like you kind of fit thematically. Plus, you kind of like a wild card, so we could have you around. Whereas like Namba Industries is like they have everything. Like, what the hell, you know? Here's the worst part. Like, if Evil gets taken out, like they don't pose a threat. They're not strong enough to stop them. Like at least whenever in X8, whenever like a new CEO showed up, they posed a threat. Like we needed an arc to take them out. Like what the fuck does Namba have? Like, oh, we took out Evil. Oh yes, I control all of Japan. Yeah, 4 riders just like roll up and like kick through your entire army. You have nothing. It's sad.
Okay, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. Sorry to end on such a bummer note, we really did enjoy this episode. We'll be back next Tuesday with more Looping Ranger versus Pat Ranger, and more Wednesday with more of the good stuff that we like in Kamen Rider Build. See you then.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, everyone. Like, I'm pretty sure you should have stopped listening when we did the sign off like 20 minutes ago. Maybe we should start doing that from now on. It's like, yeah, let's just talk about the episode and then like leave the Namba shit till the end because it doesn't matter. But otherwise, yeah, solid episode, another solid one. Next one looks really good too. I hope to see all you guys next time.
Decade, you want to say bye?
Thanks for listening.